With you? What's wrong with you?
Hi, this is Kendra back with another video. I'm just doing a quick commentary on Pastor. I'm not going to play the whole video through. Just quickly this passage about homosexuality and parents who have homosexual children, nieces or nephews or cousins or uncles or aunts, but mainly if you're a parent with homosexual children.
Any parent that are watching or that are here support that and say you're a Christian, you's a sinner.
That's a sinner. And that ye may put different.
If it's your father, he's of the devil.
Amen.
If he's supporting your daddy, is of the devil.
That's right.
You hear me, Boston? Can't go forth. I got any parents here that justify your child homosexuality and say you're a Christian, you's a liar.
That's a lie.
So I wanted to stop right there and just give commentary. Now, I want you guys to understand something. You are not to condone in any sin. All sins, all wages of sin is death, period. God is, every sin is an abomination to God, point blank, period. There's no sin that outweigh the next. He said the wage of sin is death, period. And so, but there are certain sins, such as sexual sins, that comes with curses and comes with, demons that travel throughout your family bloodline as a result of the sin. So I wanted to just give commentary on not supporting the sin, because oftentimes I think a lot of parents of homosexual children get confused on what they should do when their child is homosexual. Number one, you want to make sure you pray for that kid and their sexuality. You want to talk to them and figure out what could have transpired to cause the homosexuality. That's number two, because you want to understand your kid, period, right? But number three, what you also need to do is understand this. You are not in no way, as Jennings said, no way, shape, or form ever to condone in the homosexuality or any sin that your kids partake in. You never say, I agree, I don't agree with his lifestyle, but I support him. Then you're agreeing with his lifestyle if you support him. And when I say that, I don't mean leave the child homeless with no place to go. See, y'all, some of y'all black, and I'm talking to our so-called black families, some of y'all crazy. Now, y'all know that if every time y'all sin, God threw you to the curb with nothing, no one to care about you, love, or hold your hand through nothing, a lot of y'all be dead without nothing at all. God does not do that. He gives you compassion. Not only does he give you compassion, he gives you mercy. I know he gives me mercy, believe me. When there are times where I should have been dead from the decisions I made, he didn't. There's the times I should have been in prison. I wasn't. Let's keep it 100. God himself is merciful. So when you talking about being a Christian and you talking about walking with God and being like God, and you go to church every day and you pray and you profess yourself to be holy and sanctified and righteous, then you should know that putting your son or your daughter on the street because they sin is not what God asks you to do. Unless you can find a scripture where it say throw your son out and throw your daughter out for their lifestyle, you're doing wrong, because you would not like that same hand. I think Jesus Christ gave a parable like that. I think the parable was about the king who, I guess the man owed the king some money. And so he came to the king saying, listen, I ain't got no money. I can't pay you back. Please have mercy. So the king had mercy on him. And he was like, all right, you pardon from it. And then in the same breath, the same man who wanted to pardon from the king turned around when somebody owed him money and was like, you got to give me my money back. I don't care. So the king saw that and was like, hold up. Didn't I give you mercy? Didn't I give you grace? So how you going to turn around and not give somebody else the same grace that I gave you? So y'all got to understand, the Bible's not telling you to kick your homosexual daughter or son out on the street. It is not. How do you, I ain't preaching, I'm just telling you the truth. How do you, and I'm not gay, and nor do I, so far that I know, have any homosexual nieces and nephews or brothers and sisters. I don't have any children yet of my own. But I'm just saying, how do you not condone and not accept what the sins of your children without putting them out and being in a holy family, right? Well, what you do is you have to turn around and not condone it in your house. Meaning, his boyfriends cannot come in at all. He cannot dress all effeminate with nails, eyeshadow, makeup, she cannot wear men clothes in your house. I'm just saying, it can't be. Because if you don't condone in a lifestyle, that means you don't condone in anything they doing. He or she cannot do none of that in your house and in your presence, because it's disrespectful, period. Because they know what you stand for and who you stand for, and they know that you stand for God, so they got to respect God. And God say no. Like he just said, God say separate the the holy from the unclean. So anybody knowing that, do not let your kid watch homosexual things in your house. Do not let them come in your house dressed like no girl. Do not let your daughters come in the house dressed like no man. I don't care. Get them a dress. Get the girls a dress. Leave a couple of dresses in your home. They cannot enter your house. Their girlfriends cannot enter your house. That's it. Your sons cannot have any girl attire. If he got on a dress or a skirt, high heels or tight pants, get him some loose pants. They got some down at the I know they got some cheap clothes. Put them in your house. Get them a tracksuit. Put it in your house. They cannot come in your house with high heels. They can't even leave it in your house. You know how back in the day in the 90s when you wanted to go to school and change out of the clothes that you were getting ready to wear at school, but your mama won't permit it, so you put it in your backpack. They're going to have to do that every time they come into your house, point blank, period. Because what they do in the world cannot be brought into your holy sanctified house, period. And if they don't like it, too bad. That's just what it is. Because until they live a holy and righteous life, I would not put them out. They can just not do it in my house. You can't. If you wear dresses, you better go ahead and do it. I remember I ain't gonna say his name, but I had this little boy that back in the day that I was friends with, and he was homosexual, and his mother was mad, and his mother said to him, "What do? You go out to the street and come out of the closet and then come back in my home? Well, if that's what you got to do, that ain't none of my business. With the life that you live outside of your parents' house is your business. If your parents pointed you into the direction of God and told you what that lifestyle meant and how all these sins are an abomination, and you still chose, then that's your life and your salvation, and you're gonna have to bear the fruit of what the sin that you committed. That's period. That is not the hands of your parents. They whatever chastisement they gonna get from you being led astray, they gonna get. But for the most part, that's you. That's your salvation. They're not gonna go to hell or to heaven because of you. Period. That is your choice. So parents of homosexual children, how not to condone in that is to set a boundary. That's point blank, period. You cannot. It's just like if somebody with I can't give a proper analogy, but period. They cannot come into your house dressed like that. They cannot come into your house with their spouses, their boyfriend, none of that. They friend, none of that. None of that. They can't be all in they gay algorithm. I can't even think of the word. Pronouns and they gay lingo. It got to stay at the door. It can't come into your holy sanctified house. Period. If they live under your roof, if they decide to walk out and move out, that's on their own recognizance. You know you didn't put them out. Okay. Don't force them out. Don't try to emotionally manipulate them to get them out. All of that is putting them out, which is not holy. So let them, if they decide to leave because they don't like the rules of your house, that's on them. But if they want to respect and stay at your home, you let them know there's a boundary. You cannot come in my home dressed like that, acting like that, showing out like that. This is a holy, sanctified home. And if you don't like it, so be it. Because the world can take you in if that's what you decide. But you cannot come into their home and do that. Now, I'm just saying, that's the boundary you set. And if they don't like that boundary, they got to understand. If you don't like something, you get a job, you get a mortgage, and have your own home. You don't get to come into your parents' house and dictate what's in their home because you're just the tenant there. And you're a tenant that lived there for free. So you're a freeloader. If you don't like their rules, get out their house. That's period. And this is for any sin. I don't care what sin it is. That's drugs, alcohol, adultery, sodomy, all form, any form. If you don't like a holy, sanctified, and parents too, don't be sitting up there telling your kids that you don't want them to live an unholy life while living an unholy life. You are the example that they will use. You get what I mean? But if you don't want that, and no matter what you do, get that up out of your house if you don't want it there. That's point blank, period. Don't get them out your house. I mean, set boundaries. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Because I don't want nobody to be like, oh, I thought you said no. I mean, get the behavior out your house, not the child itself. Get the behavior out. Set boundaries. If you got to have a closet full of clothes, girl sweat sets for the girls, so when they come in the house, they take off, they leave that garbage outside, leave that men clothes outside for the girls, leave those girl clothes outside for the boys. You got to sweat. Before you come in my house, hand them a man sweatsuit. And be like, what, for real? Yep, man sweatsuit. Take the sweatsuit, put that on. You cannot come in here. I mean everything. You can't even have on the rainbow socks. Get it out my house. I don't want rainbow. If you got on rainbow drawers, there's a new pack of underwears in that bag, fresh socks, a t-shirt. Put it on before you get in my house. Earrings out of your ear. If you're a boy, you only need one. You don't need two. You don't need a whole long, none of anything that is professing in your house that you are homosexual should not be in your parents' house if that's what they do not condone. It's a respect thing. And a lot of homosexuals have an issue with respect, all the while professing for somebody to respect them. That don't make no sense. Because if you do not respect somebody, disrespect begets disrespect. Understand that. That's just common knowledge. You don't get to disrespect somebody and then request them to respect you. That don't make no sense. So that lifestyle you live in, that ain't none of your parents. Listen, if they don't want it in their house, they don't want it in their house. Same way if you have your own house and there's certain things you don't want in your house, and if your company come over to your stuff, or even in your room, if your sibling come into your room unannounced with something that you don't want in their room, their friend or anything, you gonna get mad. So understand that same thing with your parent. Period. That's me. That's Kendra with True STV. Stay up, stay blessed. Put God first above all else. Peace out, y'all. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for all y'all who like, share, and subscribe in the videos. Thank you. Peace out and bye.